Good morning, Year 4. I hope you all had a really lovely, relaxing half term. It's our first maths lesson of the new half term. I've got a starter here that you can begin with, get your brains back in gear again. Remember to hit pause on the screen, have a go at all of the questions. Remember your division, your subtraction are going to be most helpful for you to practice while you're at home. And we're going to move on and look at the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's have a look. Okay, press pause on the screen now so you can give yourself a mark. Remember, a tick if you've got it and a dot if not. And we're going to have a look at today's lesson in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, today's lesson is all about something you would have started to learn in Year 3 just before our very first ever lockdown. And that's on how to find a fraction of a set of objects. So for example, finding half of a bunch of pizza slices, or a quarter of some counters, or a third of a carton of eggs. It's using fractions in real life to split things up, and we're going to have a go at that today. So, to start us off with, I've got some questions here that are going to help us get our brains back in gear. First of all, could you draw some counters on your whiteboard at home or on a piece of paper to show me 12 divided by 4? How could you show 12 split up by 4, shared out by 4? Have a think. The next question is, can you show 6 divided by 3? Now, I'm not just looking for the answer here. We know that 6 divided by 3 is 2. How are you going to show it? What does 6 shared out by 3 look like? And if you can do that, can you show me 60 divided by 3? You might want to use something other than just ones counters for this question, unless you want to draw out 60 counters. That's entirely up to you. For question 3, I want you to use place value counters, so your ones, tens, hundreds and thousands, to divide 72 by 3. We know how to divide two-digit numbers. If you can't remember how to do this, have a quick look online or come and ask for help on Ask the Teachers and I'll give you a reminder. And for number 4, can you match the bar models to the correct fractions? I want you to press pause on your screen now and we're going to have a look at the answers together in 3, 2, and 1. So first of all, here are my 12 counters. To show 12 shared into 4 groups, I'd simply need to put them into either groups of 4 or into 4 groups of 3. So this is 12 split into groups of 4. So I can see that 12 split into groups of 4 gives me 3 groups. 12 divided by 4 is 3. For 6 divided by 3, I could have 6, that showed me the same thing. For 6 divided by 3, we know the answer is 2. We could have shown 6 split into 2 groups of 3, or 6 split into 3 groups of 2. For 60 divided by 3, if we know 6 divided by 3, we know it's going to be much the same. I could have done exactly the same picture as I did for 6 divided by 3, but using tens counters instead of ones, because 60 is 10 times bigger than 6. For question number 3, here's 72 in place value counters, so 7 tens, 2 ones. To split them into 3 groups, I share them out equally. We get a problem here. I haven't got enough of this last 10 to split it out equally, so I'm going to exchange it for 10 ones, and now I can split these out. There we are, to get 24 in each of our 3 groups. And then we had to match our bar models to the correct fraction. So this bar model is showing me 1 out of 3, 1/3. This is 1 out of 4 for a quarter, 1 out of 2 for a half, and 1 out of 6 for a sixth. Okie dokie. So, to start us off with today's lesson, Eva's here to help us, and Eva has 12 toy cars. A quarter of Eva's cars are red. How many red cars are there? Let's think about how we would solve this problem. We might want to start by drawing out those 12 cars, or using 12 counters to help us. If a quarter of the cars are red, that means 1 in every 4 cars are red. Let's have a think about how we can make this 1 out of 4 work. We could split them into 4 groups, and one of these groups will be red, 1 out of 4. So let's split 12 into 4 groups. If you've done that at home, you'll find that 12 split into 4 groups is 3. One of these groups is red, so we know 3 out of 12 cars is red. There are 3 red cars. Let's have a look at a similar question. So Eva's still got 12 cars, but this time a third of the cars are blue. If we're splitting 12 into thirds, how many groups do we need now? So we had 4 groups for quarters. How many groups will we need for thirds? Stop and think for a moment. Okay, so here's our 12 cars again, and we're going to need 3 groups for thirds. So let's split 12 into 3 groups. There we go. So in each group we've got 4 counters. 12 divided by 3 is 4. One of these, 1/3, will be blue. There we are. So we know there are 4 blue cars. 1, 2, 3, 4 from this group. Now, a sixth of the cars are silver. Stop and think for me. If we're splitting it into sixths, what are we dividing it into? How many groups will there be? So for quarters we had 4 groups. For thirds we had 3 groups. For sixths, how many groups will we need? Here's our 12 cars, and we're going to need 6 groups. Here they are. Let's split our cars up. 12 shared out into 6 is going to leave us with 2 in each section. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 1/6 of the cars are silver, so 1 out of these groups is silver, which tells us there are 2 silver cars. Okay, a different question now. There are 84 children in the hall. Half of the children are girls. What should we divide by here? So when we were splitting into quarters, we divided by 4. When we split into thirds, we divided by 3. When we split it into sixths, we divided by 6. What will we divide by for half? Terry thinks he knows. Let's see what Terry thinks. Terry thinks half is going to be 8. Does that seem right to you? Let's find out. So we have 84 children. We could show that using our base 10. So there are 8 10s, 4 1s. And we want to split them into 2 groups. 84 divided by 2. I could use counters or manipulatives like these to help me, or I could just do it in my head. If you know 84 divided by 2, write it down now. If you don't know, use counters or draw counters to help you work this out and split them into your 2 groups. You'll find that 84 divided by 2 is 42. So if half the children are girls, 42 of the children are girls. There we go. There are 84 people at a concert. 1/6 of the people are adults. How many adults are there? I'd like you to have a go at this question now on a piece of paper, and we'll check the answer together in just a moment. If you've got 84 people and you're splitting it into sixths, what are you dividing by? Think back to what we've just done together. We're going to look at the answer in 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to take our 84 and we're going to divide it by 6. We're going to split it into 6 groups. You might have shared out counters to do this. You might have just done the calculation in your head or on paper. But if you've done it correctly, you'll find the same answer, which is that 84 divided by 6 is 14. If 1/6 of the people are adults, that means one lot of 14. There are 14 adults at the concert. Knowing that, let's see if you can have a go at this. 1/3 of something is 23. So something has been split into thirds, and one of those thirds is 23. How can we work this out? Well, let's draw something to help us. Here's my bar model. We're working with thirds, so I've split it into 3. 1/3 is 23. We don't know what it's going to add up to yet. But if 1/3 is 23, that means the other thirds are going to be 23 as well. To find the total, all I need to do is 23 add 23 add 23, or 23 times 3. That gives me 69. It's your turn now to have a go at the questions on teams. Remember to look at the denominator to find out what you're dividing by. There's a couple of tricky questions today to get you to think. If at any point you need help, remember just to reach out on Ask the Teachers and we'll be happy to come and give you a hand. We'll see you soon. Bye.